Credo Voices, the podcast where we bring you inspiring stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Awele Okigbo, the CEO of Credo Advisory.
Sound production, take one.
Credo Voices. This podcast has been a labor of love. It's about driving social impact. It's about raising awareness around the Sustainable Development Goals. It's about going to every corner of the world to find those soldiers of progress. And I'm really thrilled to have the production team with me. I know while it's my face, a lot of the marketing material, there's an incredible team behind me that really made it possible. Credo Voices is about going to Cameroon to talk to a midwife, Martha, who's doing incredible work with women and mothers. It's about going to South Africa, where we talk to Isaac Pretorius, who's strengthening food security. We went to France, where we talked to Yassine. There's so much we've done in the past year, and I'd love to share it with you. How did we do it? Why did we do it? And let's look underneath the hood to see what has transpired in the past year. Every time I'd interview someone, I'd be like, oh my God, that was an amazing conversation. We'd have another guest and it's like, oh my God, this is even more touching and really resonates with me, with you guys. So it's been such an incredible experience, but I'd love to hear your own views, because from my end, I'm the one kind of interviewing people. You guys were doing research. You guys are reaching out to all of the different guests. You're trying to schedule all of these things. David, I have to bring you in. You produced it. You were kind of getting everything organized. Can you run us through what did you do from when I started this? And just in case people don't know, this was inspired by us being inducted into the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. I went to an event in New York and I saw these amazing young people, well, young and older, doing things. And the Gates Foundation was recognizing, us. And I thought, when we leave here, how do we keep this going? There's so many stories, so many incredible work that's happening. We need to capture it and lift them up. That's how Credo Voices kind of started. Us providing a platform to elevate the voices of people that are doing really incredible work, and they're not necessarily getting the recognition they need or the support. So that's why we started doing this. But David, please walk us through very quickly your process. How, I come to you, I say, David, we need to get all these people on air. What have you done? How did you do it?
Yeah, thank you, Awele. I mentally have a criteria I work with when it comes to finding these people. There are three things that I'm keen about. So demographics, impact, and the SDGs, of course. So with this criteria in mind, it's easy for me to streamline my search. So now I'm looking for somebody doing work to eradicate poverty. I'm looking for someone who is promoting good health and well-being. So it helps me streamline my search. I know the SDGs I'm targeting. I'm very keen on the geographical spread. So we have someone from Asia, we have someone from Africa. So just a bit of balance. It's a global goal. So everybody has to cover everyone. So I think the hardest part is even actually getting these people to locking them down, literally. Because with conflicting schedules and all of that, it's really hard to get people to commit to a particular time. It was harder in the first season because it was a new brand, a new initiative, and not a lot of people have heard about it. So there was a lot of convincing that we had to do. I'm glad at our reach so far. I'm so proud of Credo Voices and the entire team, what we've been able to put out in the past year.
It really takes strategy. You have to really develop a nice, season one, and I know you're designing season 2 as we speak. But that's on your end. What about the actual hardware? And I think, Uche, that's where you come in, right? We do all these recordings. A lot of them have all these technical issues. I can even hear you guys. I know you guys are in the office, so I can hear the background noise, just crying. But sometimes we had, guests that were in, very noisy settings. We had a lot of technical glitches. Uche, please come in. You are like our magician. Literally, I'd finish a recording and I'd be thinking we're going to have to record this over again. And sure enough, Uche, our motion and sound designer, would just be able to create magic out of it. So Uche, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, thank you, Awele. So, you see, in podcast production, there are a lot of moving parts, especially when it comes to integrating sound effects, music, and dialogue. And one of the biggest challenges is finding that perfect balance between the spoken content and the sound design, since the last thing you want is for listeners to miss important details because of either a loud background sound that is overshadowing the dialogue. So what we try to do at our end is to keep the sound in the background where they add texture but not drawing too much attention to themselves. I love Refue's episode. That's our most recent episode.
Now, Uche, why did I just crack up when you mentioned Refilwe?
That episode had a lot. It was really challenging working on that episode.
It was. Please continue.
It was the toughest episode working on. I'm not saying this because of the flow of the conversation, but because the audio quality was less than the ideal quality. It had background noise, which is common, especially if you're recording in a less than ideal condition. However, I was able to fix it by making some adjustments in a way that the listener doesn't notice the noise anymore. But sometimes you cannot take off everything without affecting the quality of the dialogue, and that's where consistency comes into play. But so far so good. Working on Credo Voices with other designers has been really great.
Oh, Ute, thank you. You and I know we had other designers working on it. Eugene, you guys have been fantastic in just being able to create this incredible audio podcast. So it's really nice to see how an idea that I had just now come full circle to fruition. That's why we're here. We're closing out season 1. For me, there's so many special moments when I was having these conversations. And one I just have to share was with Isaac Pretorius. And that was our episode 2, Strengthening Food Security. And one quote that just is imprinted in my mind is what his father told him when he was young. And it was, "Are you man enough to be an African woman?" When he said that, I had goosebumps. I mean, there's so much to unpack there, but that was one that really resonated with me. And you have a lot of stories where people come from personal pain and they've been able to turn it around for good to drive equality. And this was, I'm talking about Emilia Roig. This was, I think, episode 10, Dismantling Systemic Oppression. And her work touches on challenging systemic inequality. She's amplifying voices of marginalized communities. She's really a one-woman army, of course, her and her team, to fight oppression in Europe.
Yes, Awele, thank you so much. So my name is Abayomi Afalabi. I'm a senior communications specialist at Credo Advisory, and working on the Credo Voices podcast has been one of the most inspiring experiences of my career so far. There's something powerful about hearing directly from our guests on these episodes. So you really get into their mind and learn how, what drives them and what made them become these remarkable and inspiring characters that they are. I think one of my favorite episodes, or one of my favorite interviews of this season was the one we had with Martha. It was the very first episode.
Yes. Martha was gold.
We dove into her work, trying to reduce maternal mortality rates in Cameroon, which has one of the highest
in the world, by the way.
Her passion, the insights she shared, they really reminded me of why we actually got into this podcast and trying to tell these stories, because we're really committed to driving these meaningful conversations and highlighting the impactful work that our guests do. I think another standout episode for me would be the one we had with Yassine. and learning how he was using this digital character, Elix, to make the SDGs relatable at a very foundational level. So these stories, his story, Martha's story, all our guests this season, the stories just, encapsulate what the podcast is all about. Extraordinary things being done by ordinary people. Telling these stories through this medium has really reinforced the importance of creating platforms where ideas and solutions and inspiration can flourish and can be shown to the world at large. Working in this podcast has made me improve as a storyteller, as a listener, and as someone who believes even more deeply in the power of communication to transform lives. I'd like to thank our listeners for being a part of our journey this season, and here's to more inspiring conversations ahead in season 2.
So really, I also have to commend you. I mean, it is one thing to get this people to actually commit, and it's another thing to get them to a level of comfort where they are able to share their story. I could see how they were able to be vulnerable. They were able to let their guard down and to actually tell their story. It was really beautiful to listen to. I really want to commend you on this as well. Yeah.
Guys, thank you. But I wouldn't, again, the reason why we're even having this conversation is because this is something that we all collaborated on. And I'm so thrilled that you guys have been able to work with me to realize the vision. And we have season 2 coming up. Really excited to have even more conversations. And I think, David, season 2, what's special about season 2?
So for season 2, drum roll, please.
Yeah, drum roll.
So first of all, I just want to say I am so proud of our guest lineup. And I don't want to give too much information, but what I can tell you now is an all-women season.
Yes.
We touch very sensitive topics and sensitive issues. And
Absolutely.
I'm just so proud of the work that has gone into it and the preparation and planning. It launches in 2025 and we're so proud. So guys, stay tuned to Credo Voices.
Thank you guys. This was really nice. I'm excited for season 2 and I am doffing my hat to you for all of the hard work and putting together an exceptional first season. Yes, good job guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious and keep believing in the power of your voice. This is Awele Okigbo, signing off for Credo Voices.